sixth grade. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to do a quick video about the paper doll assignment, just to kind of clarify for you, in case you didn't watch the Zoom or you were having trouble watching the Zoom, you weren't at the Zoom, you haven't had a chance to get to the Zoom yet. So actually I dropped my thing on the floor. Let me pick it up. All right, so for the character assignment that you were starting, you can do one of two things. You can use the worksheets that are in your study guide, or you can make your own paper dolls. And these are things that we are going to go back to and reuse throughout the rest of the novel. So you need to keep them together. Okay, so if you decide to do paper dolls, you're going to need to get yourself a little folder or a little envelope or something to keep them in. Okay, so what I'm talking about, it starts on page 23 in your book. Okay, looks like this. This is the one that we did during Zoom. We started this. Okay, it's not complete, but it is a good start. And you're not going to finish it. You're not going to finish it today. You're just starting it. So you're going to label in the head is where you put the name of the characters. And in fact, I should have wrote Johansson, so I'm going to add that. So it should say Anne Marie Johansson here. Okay. Then over here, we put her description. Okay, so we said that she was blonde and that she was thin. And I told you guys to look up and remember how old she is. Okay, so you're going to add that. What you would do if you were the character, you really can't do yet. We're not going to do that yet because we're going to wait until we've read the entire story. But what are things that the character does do? You can put a couple things in here. We could say that she tells her sister fairy tales. We could say that she produces the picture of her sister in order to help Ellen. Okay, and there's not a lot of space, so you can go down. We can make the sleeve like this whole section. Okay. But another part that is really important is up here, we created and labeled personality traits. And this is where I want you to write down some personality traits of each character. And you have to think about what that character does, and that'll help clue you in on the character traits, okay? So like we said that Anne Marie is brave because of the way that she stood up for Ellen. She's also kind of scared. And she even thinks about whether or not she thinks she can be brave when she needs to be. We also said that she's smart or clever, especially when she comes up with using Lice's picture, and that she's quick thinking, and that she's caring, and that she's a hero. Okay, so you're going to do this for the major characters that I listed. So you're going to have Ellen, you're going to have an Anne Marie, you're going to have a Kirsty, you're going to have a Mr. and Mrs. Johansson, and a Peter. Okay. Now, if you want to try to do the paper dolls, and I apologize that we can't formally do this together because we're not in my classroom and we don't have all the magazines, but perhaps your household has some magazines, and fashion magazines will do, news magazines, catalogs are even okay, clothing catalogs, as long as they have people in them. Okay. So I showed you guys my scrapbook, and this is what I would like us to make, and I don't know if we'll be able to. I'd have to find a way to kind of get you guys your materials. So I'm not sure if we're going to actually get to make the scrapbook or not. I haven't quite worked that out. But in the scrapbook are pages that have all the paper dolls. So during the Zoom, I showed you guys this one. This was my Anne Marie. I took this out of a Marie Claire fashion magazine. It's really fancy, okay? And then I also showed you guys my Mr. Johansson here. It was just like an ordinary man out of a clothing catalog, okay? But I forgot that I had one that wasn't glued in. So I wanted to be real specific and show you. Now this is Kirsty. She's not glued in. This is what I mean by a paper doll. Now when I was little, we would cut these out and we wouldn't have the construction paper on them, but we would just use the little people. We would cut them out and we would like play, make them dolls, and they would talk to each other, and it would be like, you know, say, so he's cut out too, and he's like, Kirsty, it's time for bed, and she's like, okay, daddy, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, so this is what I found for Kirsty. I tried to keep them close to what the book description is as much as I could. So this one actually is pretty accurate because it shows a little girl with blonde hair. All right, but some of them weren't quite as accurate. Like we ended up with some that just aren't the same. But you'll notice, you see, the important thing is, now she was a little bit little. So I had to use a lot of construction paper to give myself some space to write. Okay, so I'm going to put this up kind of next to my head so you can see how big it is. So you want them to be almost as big as, you want them big as like at least half of a page, at least as big as the people that are in the worksheets in your study guide. And on the back, now you can't really read it real well because it's been glued and I had to take it off in order to give you an example. But this says Kirsty Johansson, and then I listed all these character traits of her. Okay. So if you want to do, and some of the things I have that she's Anne Marie's little sister, I have that she's 5 years old, that she has curly blonde hair. So I'm giving all the information that you would give me on this, but I'm putting it back here instead. Okay. And then we wrote some things about her personality. Okay. And I don't want to give those away, but we will go over those. We'll go over those when we have our Zoom meeting on Friday. Okay. And make sure that we all kind of got some of the same personality traits from her. But I don't want to tell you what this class said because I don't want to give you, I want you to think of them on your own. Think of what she does. What kind of little girl is she? Okay. So you could make these if you want to. If you have the materials at home, feel free to do this. But if you don't, then you're going to use these worksheets instead. Okay. And it's just kind of the best we can do given the circumstances. So I just want to do a quick little video just to go over that, make sure everybody understood that assignment. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. All right. And this is actually kind of fun. I found this a lot more fun doing the paper dolls, but even working on the worksheets, I think it's fun to look into characters and kind of analyze them and think about them really deep. And that's one of the skills that we're learning with this book. So have fun. And if you do your little paper dolls, I want to see them. All right. And if you don't have magazines available, feel free to ask people. You know, you can ask your grandma or somebody, maybe they'll send you some. But you don't have to run out and buy any. All right. Don't make your parents run out and buy a bunch of stuff so that you can do this. We can do these. And if you really want to, you could even cut it out, except you have to make sure you leave enough space for the personality traits. Okay. All right. So that's that. And we'll talk more about this on Friday. I can't wait to go over it and see what kind of personality traits and things that you came up with for these characters. Okay. Bye.